join us after the break, where we will introduce you to another person who is making a difference, and in a very unusual way. We'll be right back.
The world is full of people who have various talents and gifts that they employ to help make our world a better place. We are about to introduce you to one such person, Dennis Eckhart, a German national who came to Jamaica 5 years ago and brought with him an ancient Brazilian art form called Capoeira. We caught up with Dennis to discuss what brought him to our island, the exotic art of Capoeira, and how he uses this martial art to make a difference.
Mysterious, powerful, enchanting. Those are just some of the adjectives that can be used to describe Capoeira. Its beautiful blend of music, dance, and acrobatics has enchanted all who lay their eyes upon the experts who practice it. But how was it formed, and where did it begin? Dennis Eckhart gives us a brief glimpse into its history.
Capoeira is an Afro-Brazilian martial art and dance. It is a form of culture that has been developed by African slaves in Brazil, and it was used mainly in two ways. On one hand, it has been used as a form of social gathering. In the few spare moments the slaves had, they would gather together and play instruments, make music, and start playing capoeira. In the same movement, they would use capoeira to prepare themselves physically for the hour of the runaway, and they would use it to fight against the slave drivers and against the oppressors, which were the Portuguese, which was the colonial power in Brazil by that time. So on one hand, it was like a weapon in the hand of the oppressed slaves, which they used to free themselves from slavery. On the other hand, it was a form of positive interaction, non-verbal communication, so to say, because you learn how to communicate using your body.
Dennis, who hails from Nuremberg, Germany, came to Jamaica because of his love for reggae music and all things Jamaican. But he also came because of his love of capoeira.
Through the music, I became aware of the culture of Jamaica. I started reading and studying, and especially when I started to find out about the Maroons movement, for example, about the colonial history of Jamaica, it struck me that there were so many similarities between Jamaica and Brazil. So I had been traveling to Brazil before to study capoeira, and at the first moment the question rose in my head like, oh, this is so similar to Brazil. There's the Maroons movements, there's people who fought for their liberty, for their freedom against slavery and oppression. So is capoeira in Jamaica already? So nobody could tell me that. I asked my master, I asked all the masters I know. I searched on the internet and I could not find anything about capoeira in Jamaica. And since that is what I love, and since reggae is what I loved also, I said, oh, let's combine the two and go to Jamaica and find out by myself if capoeira already has been established here.
Upon discovering that capoeira had not been established in the island, Dennis formed the Jamaican chapter of Capoeira. Over the years, through his hard work and dedication, Dennis has seen his group blossom, and he teaches capoeira at multiple locations throughout the corporate area and beyond. But Dennis had another goal.
My really goal was to teach capoeira in the inner city and to help unite people and bring people from different backgrounds together. And I started right away in 2004 to work in the New Haven community, which is in 6 miles in Kingston. And since then we have worked in various inner city communities, as well as in Kingston, also in the country area. And right now we are engaged in work in Clifton, which is it's a semi-rural inner city community in Spanish Town. And we are in Trench Town still, in Arnett Gardens. And we have students. We are sponsoring from the Mountain View area and also from the wider Trench Town area and from 6 miles still. So we have a couple of inner city areas we're involved. Oh, we're in downtown also. We're working together with Liberty Hall, Marcus Garvey, legacy of Marcus Garvey. So we have a couple of inner city communities really we're involved in, or actively by going inside and teaching at community centers, at schools, or by encouraging the students we have there to come to our other locations where we give class.
Inner city communities are often better known for poverty, lack of infrastructure, and unfortunately crime than they are for the beauty and grace that is often associated with capoeira. And some may ask, how can an art form created hundreds of years ago by slaves help to cure the social ills facing such communities? Dennis gives us his thoughts.
What I always try to do, you know, bring something good, bring something positive, and especially I'm not trying to work in and teach. I try to work in and learn for myself. So sometimes I don't even know, like, you know, if the children and the youth and the people I work with in the city, if they learn more from me or if I learn more from them. So it's an exchange really. And I think that is the vibe and the feeling that really is important, and this is what has the potential of really changing things to the better. Because it's about, you know, to realize that it does not depend on if your skin is white or brown or black. It's not about if you come from uptown or from downtown, or if you're born in Germany, or if you're born in Jamaica or in the US. It's about realizing that, you know, we all come from the same source, and we all have a heart beating in us. All our blood is red, and if you come together in capoeira and you play capoeira in the circle, in the order, all that matters is capoeira. And in that moment it's something, you know, we can forget about the trouble, we can forget about shooting, we can forget about violence at home. We just come together, and I try to create this kind of atmosphere, you know, where we can leave all the other things behind and where we can overcome in a way that is peaceful and harmonious for all of us.
When we come back from the break, Dennis will take us to the community of Clifton in Spanish Town so that we can see firsthand how the rich music and culture of capoeira brings out the best in children in that community. Welcome back to Making a Difference. Before the break, we were speaking with Dennis Eckhart, better known to his students as Professor Simpson, about capoeira, that ancient Brazilian art form, and how he uses it to work with children. We now join Dennis as he travels to the community of Clifton to engage the children in this captivating art.
Clifton is a small rural community just a few minutes from the bustling city of Spanish Town. As we entered the community, the challenges were evident. But in the midst of the tiny neighborhood, there was a hypnotic rhythm that, like the Pied Piper, seemed to draw all to it. Children flocked to Dennis and his team, showing no form of hesitation or cultural division as they jumped, flipped and flew to the sound of the birimbau, the pandero and the atabac. We asked Dennis if this reaction was typical.
It's normally always the children that come out first, and it's the children we engage first, and this is the most amazing things have come out of that, because as soon as we start to work with the children,